Good morning. My name is Charlie Lamb. When Nick asked me to write a senior speech, the first thing that came to mind were his famous words, "Do it slowly and act like you know what you're doing." I really wish I'd had this advice about 11 years ago when I remember watching my older brother begin to serve as an acolyte for the first time. I remember watching him process toward the altar carrying a torch and standing back in the pew, scared at the thought that that would very soon be me too. And before long, it was my turn to follow in his footsteps. As a timid 10-year-old, I was terrified of beginning my time as an acolyte. Looking back, I think what scared me most was just getting up to the altar and not knowing what to do and making a mistake in front of the entire congregation. Admittedly, it was a bumpy road while I was learning all of the procedures, meeting the other acolytes, and having to be constantly reminded not to tip the torch. Now, after 8 years of being an acolyte, and more recently a verger, these fears have completely disappeared. I go into every service understanding what I'm supposed to do, when to do it, and how to respond when something out of the ordinary occurs. For me, shedding the fear and growing into my role as an acolyte and a verger was about realizing there was a community full of churchgoers who not only accepted me, but supported me and helped me learn from my mistakes. As I grew older, I found that this caring presence was not limited to my role as an acolyte. In the same way that Jesus expanded the definition of family beyond biological to include his spiritual family, I saw my family grow to include the St. Luke's congregation. Adopting this perspective helped me to open up more to this parish's community than I otherwise would have. While I still have held back at times, I have embraced many new opportunities within St. Luke's, like the pumpkin patch, barbecue, vestry, and the youth programs, including the pilgrimage. To all the kids and even the adults in the congregation, my message is to not be afraid of embracing being a member of the parish. This is a unique place where people just like you come to strengthen their spirituality, lift each other up, and share their time, treasure, and talent for God and each other. It is true that taking the first step to getting involved can be scary, but the reward is immeasurable. As I prepare to head off to William and Mary this fall, I once again feel scared at the thought of jumping into something new. In that way, I feel just like that 10-year-old boy again, waiting nervously to follow in his brother's footsteps. But this time around, because of the support I've received in the St. Luke's community, I have the confidence that I will gain the skills to overcome the challenges I will encounter in this new chapter of my life. And until I do, I will just do it slowly and act like I know what I'm doing.
Hi everyone, my name is Phoebe Schultz. Growing up, I went to church a lot. I attended a Catholic school and went to Mass every single Friday with my class and then most Sundays with my family. For a lot of kids, church is something they're forced to sit through for an hour of their life when they'd probably much rather be outside on the playground around the block. At least that's how it was for me. I remember being kind of disappointed with myself because I went to a school centered around faith and religion, but the repetitive nature of Catholic Mass and the long homilies made my mind wander, and I could never take anything away from the services. When my family decided to try a new church, obviously we had to go to the one walking distance from our home, basically in our backyard. My first time at St. Luke's was way different from the church experience I'd grown up accustomed to. We were used to the quick and kind of awkward and dreaded sign of the peace gestures, making sure not to make too much eye contact or to shake someone's hand for too long. And more often than not, we would try to sneak our way out after communion. But at St. Luke's, the peace is arguably one of the most important parts of the service. It's a time to show our community and friendship with one another, the utmost sign of living in God's image before we take communion. Through the kind gestures of this parish, we found ourselves immediately welcomed and given a spiritual home through St. Luke's, and for that, I will be eternally grateful. During my Catholic school years, I never became a part of the service. but in high school, I became involved in church by acolyting and ultimately becoming a verger, both things I never imagined myself doing. I don't really like all eyes being on me, as they are right now, and the thought of acolyting terrified me because I was so scared I would mess up and everyone on the live stream would see. This was during COVID, so the pews were empty and everyone was watching the services online. But our new at the time pastor, Nick, taught me the two most important rules at this church, which you guys have already heard from Charlie, but I'm gonna say it one more time. Whatever you're doing, do it slowly and act like you know what you're doing. These two rules obviously apply to church services, but if you think about it, they can be applied to pretty much everything in life. Though I was scared to do it, being in the services has been such an amazing way to stay involved with St. Luke's and to give back to all that this community has given me. And with that, the biggest thing St. Luke's has taught me is that church can be so much more than a weekly service. It can become a place to build relationships, grow as a person, and to give back. All of those things St. Luke's has done for me, and the thought of leaving it for college makes me so sad, but I know I will always find a home and a community at St. Luke's, and there will always be at least one viewer all the way at Clemson tuning in to the 10 a.m. service. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lizzie Mormon, or Elizabeth to some of you. St. Luke's has always been a special place to me and my family. My dad attended St. Luke's with his parents and brother during his high school years. My parents were married here and I was baptized. I didn't realize until I looked back that there's so many different things that this church has given to me and how grateful I am for them. It was when I was writing my college essay that I reminisced on my 18 years at St. Luke's. I went to preschool here. I've been an acolyte since 5th grade. I attended and was a counselor at Vacation Bible School, helped run the pumpkin patch, and volunteered at the annual barbecue. I went on a pilgrimage to Alaska where I got closer with my J2A class, whom I've grown up with but never fully connected to, in summer of 2022. I've always tried to participate in as many church activities as I could. I became interested in the Circle of Care group and the older population of the church. Through Circle of Care, I was able to visit church members that weren't able to attend church anymore or that just needed some company. Through the Circle of Care, I ultimately wrote my college essay on one particular relationship that I made at Paul Springs Retirement Home. My favorite memories as a child was going to Shrimont. Special thank you to Mr. Pegger, who carried me up to the cross when I got too tired when I was 3 years old, and all my Sunday school teachers that kept me in check. Thank you to the Hopes and the Bruttons for keeping us all safe in Alaska, and to Mr. Hargrove for helping me with my AP research project and senior project, and who also gave me advice for future career paths, and especially Father Nick, who gave me the opportunity to be a verger. I'm attending Clemson University in the fall with Phoebe. College is a big step for me because I haven't really experienced much change throughout my life. I've lived in the same house my whole life and only changed schools after 5th grade. In just 2 months, I will be moving to South Carolina, only knowing a few people. I won't have my J2E class anymore or have to get up on Sundays to acolyte or be a verger, but I hope to hop on the videos every Sunday. I won't be at church every week to say hi to the adults and kids that I grew up with. This is something that's recently been on my mind. I look forward to finding a church in Clemson where I can start new relationships and continue to grow my relationship with God. St. Luke's has given me the strength to take this new step in my life and grow. I know I will always have my family here at St. Luke's. I give advice to the kids growing up in St. Luke's to really take in all that St. Luke's has to offer, because it has truly made me the person I am today. Thank you.